All right, let's dive right in. Over the next 5 minutes, we're going to break down an investment thesis that's not just about a new product, but about the very architecture of the next internet. This is a high-level briefing on Linkspreed and their play to build the foundational infrastructure for what they're calling Web 4.
So this quote from Linkspreed's founder really sets the stage, doesn't it? We're not talking about some minor update here. This is about a fundamental re-architecture of our entire digital world. And a vision that big, well, it doesn't just create a new product. It aims to create an entirely new market.
So let's be crystal clear. The whole point of this briefing is to lay out the investment case for the company that wants to build the core infrastructure for this new internet. We're going to cover the thesis, the tech, the strategy, and of course, the numbers. Okay, so here is the absolute key takeaway. Linkspreed isn't just another app you download. The thesis is that this is a foundational infrastructure play. Think of it this way. You're not investing in a new car model. You're investing in the company that's building all the roads, bridges, and tunnels for an entirely new digital continent. So what exactly is Web 4, at least in their eyes? It's all about an ecosystem built on two things: decentralization and sovereignty. The whole idea is to shift the power away from the giant, centralized platforms and put it back in the hands of users and businesses. We're talking absolute control over your identity, your data, and who you connect with. Now, for an investor, this part is really interesting. The way you invest is through something called an LVS, a Linkspreed Virtual Share. It's designed very specifically to give you pure financial exposure to the company's growth without any voting rights. This is smart, because it lets the company stay focused on its long-term mission, while investors get a clean, clear financial claim. It's engineered for returns. But, to really get why this is such a huge opportunity, you got to understand the problem they're solving. The current internet, Web 2, is showing some serious cracks in its foundation. And it's those failures that create the opening for something like Linkspreed. And the source material uses this incredibly powerful phrase to describe the problem: digital sharecropping. Think about it. Platforms like Meta and Google invite you to build your audience on their land for free. But once you're there, they turn around and basically charge you rent to talk to the very people you brought with you. It's a classic bait and switch, and it's the core frustration driving the market.
And this slide just lays it all out, plain as day. On the left, you've got the rented world of Web 2. Algorithms decide who sees your stuff, platforms take a massive cut of your money, they own all your data, and hey, they can ban you tomorrow for any reason. But on the right, you have the owned model of Web 4. You reach everyone you want, you keep all your revenue, you own your data, and you can't be shut down. For a creator or a brand, it's a no-brainer.
All right, so what's Linkspreed's answer to all this? It's not just a single app or service. It's a fully vertically integrated ecosystem. And that integration, well, that's the secret sauce. It's their competitive moat, and ultimately, it's what justifies the premium valuation they're aiming for. The entire company is built on these 5 core pillars that all feed into each other. You've got the apps on top, like social networks and business software, but it goes all the way down to their own consumer hardware and even the base-level internet protocols. The goal is to control the whole stack, from the wiring up to the user experience, with everything coming together in one super app. This table really helps visualize it. At the very bottom, you have the protocols, the foundation and identity layer. In the middle, you have the hardware, which gives them a physical distribution channel, and on top, you have the applications that drive the revenue and the growth. When you control all 3 layers, you create this incredibly powerful ecosystem lock-in that is just a nightmare for competitors to try and copy. Okay, I know that sounds a bit abstract, so let's make it real. Take a look at this user, Alex. He's using his one single universal digital ID to connect with his bank, his car, his favorite brands, his friends, everything. It's one unified digital life, and the key thing is, he's the one in control, not some giant corporation.
And that's the user side. Now, flip it around and look at it from a big company's perspective, like Audi. They can use this system to build their own private brand community, creating a direct, unfiltered line to their customers. All that valuable data flows directly into their own systems. No middlemen, no gatekeepers. They completely bypass the old Web 2 platforms.
So the technology is incredibly ambitious, but great tech is nothing without a great go-to-market strategy. So how do they get this thing off the ground? The plan is just as aggressive as the tech, a surgical infiltration of the massive creator economy. And here it is, Game Plan 2026. It's a 4-step blitz. First, they drop a $10 million grant to get the top talent agencies to pitch them. Second, they hit the road in the US to sign a few whales, think massive influencers.
Third, they coordinate this huge Exodus campaign where dozens of stars all launch their new platforms at the same time. Boom. And finally, they take all that launch data, prove the model works, and use it to gear up for their Series A. It's a clear, aggressive path to scale.
All right, the tech is there, the strategy's there, but it all comes down to the numbers, right? This entire thing is designed to produce a specific financial outcome. So let's get to the financial case that underpins this whole thesis.
Whoa. Okay, so these are the projections for their 2028 aggressive case, and just look at these metrics. They're targeting over 1.7 billion euros in revenue with insane year-over-year growth, and this is huge. A blended gross margin of almost 80%. That is a beautiful set of numbers.
Let's just pause on that top-line number for a second. 1.77 billion euros. That's the revenue target for 2028. It's a huge figure, but it's directly tied to their strategy of viral adoption through the creator economy. It really puts the massive scale of this opportunity into perspective.
But revenue is one thing. Profitability is another. And this is what should make any investor's ears perk up. A 79% gross margin is just incredibly strong. It shows extreme capital efficiency, and it's driven by the high-margin software and identity products at the heart of the whole system. That's a clear signal of a healthy, profitable business model.
So you take that massive revenue target, you factor in that incredible margin, and it all leads to this, the big one, the pre-money valuation they're targeting, 2.66 billion euros. This is the logical endpoint when you combine the financial forecast with the strategic value of that ecosystem lock-in.
And look, this number isn't just a guess. It's grounded in standard venture capital math. You take that future revenue, you apply a premium multiplier to it because of how strong their competitive moat is, and then you discount it back to today, targeting a standard 10x return. It's a methodology that serious investors understand.
So we end with this question because it really captures the entire thesis. A fundamental shift is happening in the digital world. We're moving away from a web where we are all just tenants to a web where we can actually be owners. And the core of this investment really is a bet on that shift. The question for everyone, investors, brands, creators, is simple. Which side of that change do you want to be on?